It's good to be back, everybody. It is great to be back. What's up? I'm on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast once again, and by I'm on, you are tuning into the Thomas Take Sports Podcast, and you're listening to the voice of Ryan Thomas, live from One Buffalo, New York. And throughout the history of the show, the 3 years that since I've started this podcast, I've talked a lot about football. I've talked a lot about baseball. I've talked a lot about mixed martial arts. I've talked a lot about hockey. I've even thrown in some basketball here and there. Rarely, but here and there. It has happened. But I've never, ever, in the history of the show, for whatever reason, I think I know the reason, but for whatever reason, I've never talked about golf. And golf is a sport that has really grown on me the last few years. Before I dive into the real subject matter of the podcast, I always like to start it off with a little bit of a story angle to kind of get everybody warmed up, to get them to kick back and just hear the soothing sound of my voice, or as Zach Sheldon of Trainwreck Sports would say, the voice of Morgan Freeman, which is the greatest compliment to this day that I've ever received, and I will refer to it as such probably for the rest of my life. But anywho, I've never talked about golf on the podcast, and golf is a sport that I really enjoy. I love playing golf. I love everything about it. I love playing golf just about more than I've loved playing any other sport. I really enjoy it. It's something that I picked up very recently, within the last year or so, maybe 2 years now, and it's something that I'm going to definitely pursue, playing it far more often and taking it really seriously in terms of getting better and playing my game. I feel like as a guy with a competitive edge, shall I say, in anything that I do. If I'm playing checkers, I want to win. If I'm playing, kickball, I want to win. I have a very, very mean competitive streak, and it's something that I've always had in me since I was a little kid. I do not like losing, and I love winning. So that being said, golf has been one of those sports where you got to really be patient. It tests you. It tests your mentality. It forces you to change really your personality towards sports, because more oftentimes than not, you're not going to play well early on. And I've learned that. I've learned that there's days at the office where I'm going to do better, and there's days at the office where I'm not going to do so good. And I've really enjoyed those peaks and valleys, those ebbs and flows in the game that have kept me kind of aware of my game and where it's developing and where I'm good and where I'm not so good. And along the way, I've always been a fan of golf. I've always watched golf, and watching it growing up with my grandfather at my grandparents' house, he was a massive, massive golfer. Loved golfing, and he was pretty good from everything I've heard from his friends and from family members. He was pretty good. And he played, a lot of tournaments. He played a lot of golf and played at a lot of different courses throughout the years. And he would always watch the Masters. That was the tournament that we would always watch. And there were a lot of really awesome moments that I got to see with him while he was here throughout his life and throughout my early years that I'll never forget. Most of those memories involved Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, heading into this Masters tournament, had 4 Masters victories, but had not had a victory at the Masters since 2005. 14 years. A 14-year gap between his victories at the Masters. After winning, 4 in less than 10 years, from 97 to 05, he hadn't won one since 2005. So golf needed this. To put it frankly, golf really, really needed this. Golf is at its peak when Tiger Woods is playing really, really well. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, April 11th to April 14th of 2019, we saw that. We saw that vintage Tiger Woods that golf fans have been missing for quite some time. To harken back to my younger years of watching Tiger essentially have this meteoric rise through the sport and do these things that nobody had ever done before, I realized that this was a special time to be alive. That Tiger Woods as an athlete provided me as a fan with the thought of what a time to be alive. I literally get to watch arguably the best golfer ever, and I think ultimately a lot of people would say that he's the best golfer ever right now. That's up for debate. Really, Jack Nicklaus is the golden bear for a reason. He's the golden standard on how to be a winner and how to be a loser and really to be a professional at anything. Jack Nicklaus is the gold standard, and maybe that's where Tiger had gone wrong. Not maybe, but definitely that's where Tiger had gone wrong throughout his career. But I've always been of the opinion that I'm not going to kick a man while he's down. I'm going to build a man back up and bring him back up. And as a fan, knowing all the stuff and hearing all the stuff that he had done and all the situations he put his family through and everything like that, came to the realization that nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. And me putting myself in his shoes to say that I wouldn't make a single mistake, maybe I wouldn't make those same mistakes. Maybe I wouldn't have committed the actions that Tiger Woods did. Maybe I would have got into gambling, or maybe I would have got into other things that, maybe aren't that great. You never know. Money makes people do some things that they would normally never even think to do. And when you're at that status, when you're at that upper echelon of anything, it's very tough to rationalize how or where do you go. How did you get here and where do you go from here? And I think that's what Tiger Woods experienced during his struggles, during the scandal, during everything that took place. He literally was knocked down. He brought himself back up to be able to play golf again, to be a professional, and to go out on the courses and do his thing of perfecting his craft and showing everyone his God-given golfing ability. And then he was knocked down again for reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with this scandal or with anything that he did off the course. He was a shell of himself physically, a guy that had numerous knee injuries, numerous back injuries, numerous injuries everywhere. Shoulder, his wrist at one point was a really big problem. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. I had always wondered, would Tiger Woods ever be the same? Would Tiger Woods ever return to form? Would he become what he was destined to become, which was the greatest golfer ever? That was Tiger Woods' destiny. That is Tiger Woods' destiny, to be the greatest golfer ever. Whether he fully achieves that or not, whether he passes Jack Nicklaus and his all-time records or not, that remains to be seen. But his destiny, his goal, his mission throughout his entire life was to be the best golfer ever, to surpass the Golden Bear. And to watch other golfers in documentaries and things like that over the years that I've seen, really, they thought that this guy was overrated. They thought that he was vastly underestimating his opposition. They thought that he was essentially a dead man walking out on that golf course when he first walked out on the Masters grass in 97 for the 97 tournament. There were a lot of golfers that said to themselves, this guy is not anything that they say he is. He's hype. He's decent, but he's hype. Overall, he's hype. And there was a golfer, I can't remember his name. The name's not coming to me, but there was a golfer that said that his weakest part, Tiger's weakest part of his game was his driver. He would never beat him in a shooting range, at a shooting range or anything, driving range or anything like that. That's a shooting range, driving range. You'd never beat him at a driving range. So they tee off, and the gentleman hits 280. Tiger Woods steps up to the tee. He hits 320. The guy realized, I just hit my best driver shot at 280, and Tiger Woods just hit his at 320. It's going to be a long day. And really, from that moment on, at that 97 Masters, where he won that 97 Masters tournament, his first ever, as a young 22, 21, 23, somewhere around there, year-old man, he defied the odds. He became the face of a sport, became the face of a brand. That brand is Nike. I don't think there's any other athlete in recent memory that has been as big of a brand ambassador for Nike that Tiger Woods has. And I know he's done some things wrong, but for the most part, Nike stood by him. They were one of the few brands that did not release him or did not forfeit their partnership. Nike stood by him when nobody did. Advertising-wise or endorsement-wise, Nike stood by him. And I have to throw this in there, just from the business perspective of golf and of what took place. Nike had to be doing, essentially they had to be doing backflips during the entirety of that Masters tournament, ultimately doing somersaults when Tiger Woods won yesterday. I couldn't imagine what those offices looked like. They probably ransacked, probably looked like the Wolf of Wall Street in there. Not literally, but you know what I mean. There was a party, that's for sure. Maybe a corporate party, maybe it was quaint, but something tells me that bottles were popping, music was blaring, fists were bumping. That had to be one hell of a night at the Nike headquarters after Tiger Woods won that tournament the way he did. Down 2 strokes to Molinari and to Brooks Koepka, who Brooks Koepka, wow, that guy is phenomenal. And in a losing effort, Brooks Koepka let everybody know, yeah, I'm pretty damn good right now. I'm playing my best golf right now. 2018 was good. 2019 might even be better, albeit he did not win the Masters. That's the tournament. That's the Super Bowl of golf. Did not win it, but he came pretty damn close, and he lost to, from my mind, the best of all time. I know Jack Nicklaus is right now ranked as such due to accomplishments, but I don't think anybody has done more for golf than what Tiger Woods did. I just don't. That's just my opinion, though. No disrespect to the Golden Bear. That's legend, all that, but nobody did for golf what Tiger Woods has done. And really, I mean, I've racked my brain the last 24 hours. Maybe I need to give it more time. Maybe I'm selling it a little bit short. Maybe I'm overestimating this achievement. But when I really look at it, and I really dive into this, I don't know if there's a bigger accomplishment, a bigger comeback in pro sports history than what I saw out of Tiger Woods this weekend. I really don't think there has ever been that great of a comeback in sports. Maybe Michael Jordan, when he won his 3 titles, back to back, takes a break, goes plays baseball, and then he wins his 3 titles. But did we not think that Michael Jordan would do that? Was there real fear that he wouldn't do that? I don't think so. I think when Michael Jordan was playing for the Birmingham Barons or whatever team it was, I think that's what it was, the Barons, the AAA affiliate of the White Sox at the time, I don't think people thought that wasn't the best NBA player on a baseball field. You know what I mean? Like, he was the best NBA player in the world, but he was playing minor league baseball. So many people, and rightfully so, I'm not saying that they're wrong, but so many people thought that Tiger Woods was done, that he would never achieve what he achieved yesterday. And there's just something about when people say someone's done and I get to see them with my own eyes prove them wrong, I don't know what it is. It revs me up. It makes me so damn excited. And yeah, I'd be the first to admit there were times where I was really, really mad at Tiger as a fan. I'm thinking, what the hell are you doing, dude? You're driving, while intoxicated. You're running into fire hydrants. You're, ripping your family apart, man. What's going on? But I'm not going to hold that against somebody for the rest of their life. I'm just not. And I have that opinion with a lot of athletes. I don't hold any wrongdoings that they've done outside of actually killing a human being. I don't hold anything else really against an athlete. I want to see them redeem themselves. I want to see them get the opportunity of redemption. Guys like Aaron Hernandez, I spit on the floor if anyone mentions that guy. Not literally, but figuratively. But guys like Pete Rose, guys like Tiger Woods, I don't think that there are athletes that are as respected for their craft as those two that had a lot of disgruntled scandal and stuff like that. And it's fitting because today in the sport of baseball, it's Jackie Robinson Day, right? Everybody's wearing 42. Everybody's out there representing the guy that really changed the world. Didn't change sports. Changed the world. I don't think there's a single athlete in history that not just changed sports, but changed the world and how we viewed it within sport like Jackie Robinson did. And Tiger Woods would not be Tiger Woods without Jackie Robinson. We would not have had a 44th president by the name of Barack Obama if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson. A lot of things played itself out over the course of our history in America because of Jackie Robinson. I don't think that is a overstatement. And essentially, I think that could be the understatement of the century, saying that. When you really look at the grand scheme of things, I think he's done far more than any other athlete, and Tiger Woods would agree with me. I think he would. But this was not just your average win. This was everything. Everything was on the line. Pride, career, victory, redemption, glory. This was everything. And to see it encapsulate itself on one big night was truly special. I think that there are a lot of times where we as fans, we look at what have you done for me lately? And we often cast aside what an athlete has done in his lifetime for what he's done in his lifetime, in his athletic lifetime to what he's done in his lifetime. And I think that's the case with Tiger Woods. We often looked at what he didn't do right in his career, in his life, rather than just saying to ourselves, yeah, no one is perfect. And I really want to let that be known. I think that's a saying that's said a lot, but I really want to hammer that one home. No one is perfect. But at the same time, we often talk about how nobody's perfect, but we don't say why nobody's perfect. A lot of people have done bad things in their lives, but do we hold that against them forever? Outside of really causing physical harm to other people, Tiger Woods did not do that. Tiger Woods did some bad things, but really, he paid the price for it for a long time, and he was able to bring himself back. And he deserved that opportunity. We didn't want to see Tiger Woods go out like that. We didn't want to see Tiger Woods walk off the course with a bad knee or a bad back. We wanted to see that guy redeem himself. At least I did. And for those that didn't, really shame on you. Really. And I mean that genuinely. If there were people out there rooting for Tiger Woods to lose yesterday, I think that that's just a bitter joke. I really do. I think people need to move on from things sometimes. Oftentimes in the society that we live in, people want to just point and laugh at people when they make a mistake continuously instead of saying, well, that's okay. Let's move on from it. Let's push forward and see what we can do. Turn some lemons into lemonade. And speaking of lemonade, Tiger Woods passed Arnold Palmer for the second most Masters victories. Obviously, he's got 5. Palmer had 4. He was tied with Palmer for 4. And I mean, Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus are there 2 bigger, larger-than-life icons in the history of golf than those 2 guys? I don't think there are. I think Tiger would be in there. I think Phil would be in there. I think there's quite a few guys that would be in there, but I think Tiger and Phil are the 2 that really jump out at me. But what a truly momentous occasion that was, and I really felt emotional watching it because, as I said, I watched a lot of Tiger's victories with my grandfather, who's no longer here, and watched Tiger hug his dad during the first Masters victory. I watched Tiger hug his son during yesterday's victory, and I got a little choked up. I posted like a mock video of it where I was like, I can't do it. I was just kidding, but I honestly did get choked up. I sat there and my eyes were watering. That is stuff that you can't make that up. You can't write that. It just was fate. It was fate. That has to be fate. If that isn't fate, what is fate? I don't know what is fate. If that wasn't fate, I've never seen fate quite like that. Man, getting choked up just talking about it. In the history of sports, greatest comeback by any professional athlete. I think I'm really racking my brain to figure out who had made a bigger comeback than that, and it actually won the prize of all prizes. I know of a few athletes that have made a hell of a comeback returning from injury. Guys like Adrian Peterson, he runs for over 2,000 yards. He almost breaks Eric Dickerson's record, which still stands to this day. But outside of that, I can't think of another one. I really can't. This was a really great day for golf. The future for golf is so bright after this, and it puts a new light on golf that it really, really needed. Tiger Woods did so much for the sport. He had won more than enough, and he could have rode off into the sunset long ago and decided to quit. Really, that's what it would have been. Would have been him quitting, not retiring. It would have been him leaving us far too early in his career. But he's been around a long time, competed in the Masters at 21, won it, and wins now as a 43-year-old. And I don't know what this means for the future for Tiger. I wish I did. Wish I could look through a crystal ball and see him win a few more tournaments before it's all said and done. But that might be the last best version of Tiger Woods that we ever see. We might never see him achieve great things again like that. Might never happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think momentum is on his side. I think right now he's healthy, and he knows the course as well as anyone because he's played him more than anybody currently on the scene right now, outside of Phil. So that's how I see it, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'm very intrigued. I love this sport. Find it very interesting and very captivating, and there's a lot of great golfers right now. The state of the game is pretty damn good, and I look forward to seeing how this all turns out this season. I'm Ryan Thomas. It was the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Tiger Woods wins his 5th Masters Tournament championship. Very excited to see him don the green jacket for the 5th time. Hopefully it's not the final time. I like the guy. I'm sorry. If people don't like him still, that's on them. But I've always liked him. He made some mistakes. He cleaned himself up, got himself back on his feet, and did something really special. Take care, everybody.